This is a sequence for the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland is vital for our health, our metabolism, our growth, and our well-being. So you might want to think about when the last time is that you did something nice for your pituitary. This could be it. So we'll step forward with our right foot. And we're going to take a deep lunge, really a runner's lunge, placing the hands down on the floor and lifting the gaze. And we're going to begin here with long, deep breathing. Settling in, keeping the back leg up and straight if possible. And if you need to, you can always rest your knee down, but it's preferable to keep the leg up. Really cycle that long, deep breathing. Now we're going to shift into a breath of fire, pumping the abdomen. Abdomen comes in, breath goes out through the nose. Steady breath of fire, steady pumping. Still holding this lunge and doing our best to keep our head up. I think that's the trickiest part of this sequence, is keeping the head up in the lunge. Nice, strong. And if you're able to, you can rest your hands so your palms are flat. But a lot of us need to have our fingers on the floor. We're not able to get down there quite so deep in the lunge. So do what you can do. Staying with the breath of fire. Keep up to the best of your ability. Again, if you need to rest your back knee down, rest your back knee down. If you can see it through, that would be great. We're almost there. "30 seconds to go." Let's go ahead and inhale. Exhale, we're going to release our back leg down and our right knee to the floor. And we're going to rest our torso onto our right thigh and our head to the ground. And our arms will come down by our sides with the palms up. So we're balancing here, and it's long, deep breathing. Just relaxing. So this posture will have varying degrees of accessibility depending on your flexibility. So just do your best. You're using your arms a little bit to help you keep the balance. And using that leg, the back leg, and doing your best to relax, keeping the breath steady. Maybe checking the chest and the shoulders, seeing where you can release there. So the pituitary is known as the master gland. It oversees both the adrenals and the thyroid. And a lot of times we're working somewhat with our pituitary, and we may not even be aware of it with our gaze in yoga, as the pituitary is right here, right behind the bridge of the nose, at the base of the brain. About another minute in this posture. Soft belly, soft ankles. But keeping the breath long and deep. 30 seconds to go. And we'll inhale deeply. Exhaling, begin to release yourself from the posture by bringing your hands forward, placing them under your shoulders and pushing gently up. We're going to take this posture again on the other side, so we can rise all the way up and then bring our left leg forward into that deep lunge, knee over the ankle, placing the hands down. Maybe the palms come to the ground, maybe the fingertips, gaze is up, and we begin with a long, deep breathing. Settling into the pose. Trying to keep our back leg nice and strong. And the gaze up, head up. It's really tempting to release your head down and look to the floor, but try and resist that temptation and keep the energy of the head up. We're getting into the pituitary here. So the pituitary is about the size of a pea. So tiny, but so powerful. And we're going to shift ourselves into that breath of fire. Good, steady breath of fire, pumping the navel, trying to keep a steady rhythm, not too fast, not too slow. And again, if you are feeling fatigued or strained, you can keep up by placing your back knee down, but it's preferable to keep that leg up and strong if you're able. Sometimes what we're striving for looks really different than what we're able to do, and that's okay, because it's about the journey, about the process. Less than a minute to go here. Dedicate yourself to that breath of fire. Feeling the energy and the vitality come into the body through the breath. 24 seconds left. You've got this. Feeling strong. Keep up. And here we are. Inhale. And exhaling, release the back leg down, knee to the floor. And finding the balance point, resting the torso on the thigh, using that back leg for balance, bringing the arms down by the side, palms up, head to the ground. And finding the balance point between actually balancing and relaxing. Looking for the places where the unnecessary tension is. Maybe try softening through the arms. If this felt impossible, you could always use a bolster. You could pull a bolster up under the chest to help support you along with your thigh, or you could tuck a bolster behind your hip if you felt like you were really falling to one side, or a blanket. Here we're just going to let it all go. About half a minute left in this posture. Notice your breath. And inhale deeply. Exhaling, we'll begin that transition out of the posture, bringing the arms forward, rising up slowly. And we're actually going to bring ourselves all the way up to a standing posture. And we're going to take a variation on Uttanasana. So we're going to step our feet 2 feet apart, 24 inches. And then from here, with a long spine, we're just going to fold ourselves slowly forward. And depending on your flexibility, you'll place your palms flat to the floor, or maybe your fingertips, or if you can't quite get your fingertips to the ground, you could always hold opposite elbows. The breath is long and deep here. And we're relaxing our head, relaxing our neck, really releasing through the shoulders and the entire length of the spine. If this posture was feeling extreme in the hamstrings or the sciatic or the low back, you could add a little bit of a bend to the knees. and see if that took the pressure off. But for the most part, we should be trying to do this with our legs straight and just focusing on the softness, the release of the upper body. Keeping the breath steady and long and deep. Releasing through the shoulders, releasing through the arms. We have a little less than a minute left in this posture. So see if you can stay steady with it. And we're all just doing the best that we can. And we're almost there. Keep your commitment to your long, deep breath. So we're going to inhale, and then exhaling, beginning the release from the posture, and we'll inhale up slowly. Take your time coming up, all the way up. And our next posture is a standing posture. So we'll stay up, and we're going to step our feet in from that two-foot stance and bring our feet in to about just inside the line of the hips, or hip width apart. Our mudra, we bend our fingers towards the upper part of the palm, and we pull our thumbs away, and then we're going to lift our arms up to 30 degrees with the thumbs pointing straight up. So this is a variation on Ego Eradicator, and we're going to hold it with long, deep breathing. And personally, I love Ego Eradicator. I love the technology of taking the ego and making it a little more manageable, creating room for our true selves, our highest selves to shine forward. Really breathe. The tension is in the arms, but not in the shoulders. And see if you can keep your thumbs pointing straight up. When we do standing Ego Eradicator, the angle is a little different. We take the 30-degree angle, as opposed to seated Ego Eradicators, more traditionally 60 degrees. Long, deep breathing. Feeling a sense of victory within, victory at taking on the ego and breathing it into a good place. Feel the inhale all the way up to the thumbs, all the way down to the feet. Feel the inhale through the whole body. And feel the exhale really emptying and carrying away everything you no longer need. Both literally and figuratively. About 45 seconds left here, so really breathe, make the most of it. Let's go ahead and inhale deeply, bringing our thumbs to touch each other overhead. Suspending that inhale, swiveling the hands so the backs of the palms touch each other. And now we're going to exhale, just sweeping the aura clear and releasing. And from here, we're going to go ahead and come down onto our hands and our knees. Our next posture is triangle pose. In Kundalini, we call it triangle. You might know it as downward facing dog. And a great way to get into this posture is from hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart, and then we're just going to curl our toes and resist the impulse to move anything else and lift our hips up and push back on the heels of the hands. Maybe the heels come down, and we're going to hold here with long, deep breathing. Really releasing the head, releasing the neck and the chin. And keeping the breath steady. Keeping up with the breath. So if you can, we're going to be here for another minute. Just do your best to stay with it. And of course, if you need to come out, you can bend your knees and slowly come out of the posture. But if you can keep up, we've now got 40 seconds left. And if you're sliding in the pose, just be okay with it. It's okay. And here we are. We're going to inhale deeply. And exhaling, we're going to bend our knees slightly together and then to the floor. And then we're going to sit back on our heels just for a moment. Place the hands on the thighs, close the eyes, and just take a moment to rest here. Noticing how the energy is moving in the body, softening and releasing. We have 3 more postures in the sequence. From here, we'll move to our stomachs, laying flat. And we're going to relax here. We're going to relax for 1 minute, turning your head to either side. And just release. Often when I do this sequence, I really feel a sense of well-being, and I believe that's the glandular balance that you get from working with the pituitary. You can go ahead and turn your head to the other side now if it feels like it would be beneficial to balance the neck in that way, but continue relaxing. And from here, we're going to bring our head forward and we're going to slide our hands up underneath our shoulders. And we're actually going to take a restorative cobra. So we're going to bring our heels together and we're just going to lift up as far as our back muscles take us, coming up slowly. And then gaze up and the breath will be long and deep here. We're going to hold this posture for a minute with the breath long and deep, bringing the breath right into the heart, really breathing into the heart. Inhale deeply. Exhaling, we're going to begin to lower ourselves, but not all the way. We're going to lower ourselves into a sphinx. So we're going to have our elbows right underneath our shoulders, palms forward. And from here, we're going to take our head and we're going to turn it all the way to the left and inhale. And then we're going to track slowly all the way to the right and exhale. Inhaling left, exhaling right. And so this is great for the thyroid, for the parathyroid, for the throat chakra. Oftentimes, if there's tension between what our head is telling us and what our heart is telling us, that can be in this area right here. So this little practice of inhaling left, exhaling right has so many benefits. And with the pituitary overseeing the thyroid and the parathyroid, that's our metabolism. And of course, overseeing the adrenals, that's our energy. So you really get a sense of how the pituitary has so much to do with our well-being in general. And if you can, we're going to keep up with this for about another 50 seconds. It's always important to find that balance of pushing yourself to keep up or recognizing what you really need to do is take a rest. That's the teacher within is the one to tune into to know the answer to that. We'll bring our head center and inhale deeply. We're going to suspend this breath and we're going to squeeze Mula Bandha, squeeze the lock, bringing the energy up the spine, up to the top of the head. And then we're going to stay in the posture, but we're going to exhale, releasing the lock. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale. Squeeze Mula Bandha, drawing the energy up the spine, up through the body, up to the top of the head. Squeeze. Exhale, releasing breath and lock. Last time. Inhale. Suspend that breath. Squeeze Mulban. Feeling the energy rise up the body, circulating. And exhale. Go ahead and release yourself all the way to the floor. And we're going to roll over onto our backs. We're not going to rest here. Rolling onto our backs and bringing our knees into our chest. We're going to rock side to side a few times, just massaging the lower back. And then we're going to draw our knees in closer to our chest and we'll rock head to heel along our rounded spine 2 or 3 times if this feels okay to you. We're going to use this as a transition up, and we're coming on to our knees with our knees nice and wide, hip width apart. And so where Megan is now is our upward position, and we're going to lift our arms up over our head. Here's our inhale, rising up. And our exhale, we take our hands down and bow our head and sit back on our heels. Placing the head and the hands down, and then inhaling, rising up again. Exhaling, back down, just moving back and forth between the 2 postures. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, bowing the head to the floor, taking the time to really get the forehead to the floor. Be careful to slow it down a little bit. We want to have a vitality and an energy as we do this, but we also don't want to be approaching the floor too fast with our heads. Inhaling up, really lifting up, thinking, what am I grateful for? Exhaling, coming back down. When Yogi Bhajan gave this sequence, he encouraged us to rise up as a flower would greet the sun. So there's joy there. And exhaling back down. So whatever visualization works for you to feel a gratitude and a joy and an energy as you rise up. And you have the ability here to move a little more powerfully, with a little more vitality, if that is how you're feeling called, or you can keep it slow and methodical. The key thing is the full rise up, the full expression of breath, and then the time down, really getting our forehead to tap the floor. And the next time we come up, we'll inhale up and stretch up, stay up, stretch, suspend the breath, and exhale, releasing back down onto your heels. From here, we're going to take our last posture of the sequence, and it's Yoga Mudra. So Megan will come up for a moment. We're staying on our heels, and the mudra is interlacing the fingers into a Venus mudra, and then releasing the index finger, and we can put our left thumb on top. And we're going to do that mudra at the small of our back, behind our back. And then we're going to bring our chest forward slowly onto our thighs and relax our forehead onto the floor and lift the arms all the way up. So this is a full expression of the posture, beautiful expression of the posture. And if you can't get your arms perpendicular to the floor, then you're going to work with what you can do. So just working to get the arms off the back. The breath is long and deep. This posture is known as Yoga Mudra, and in this sequence we're interested in it for what it does for our pituitary, but it's also a great posture to be aware of for the health of our breast tissue and the health of our chest. It's great for circulation through here. So a little more incentive to do your best to get into this posture and hold it with long, deep breathing. If you can stay with the posture, we have less than a minute. Rededicate yourself to the effort, knowing that so many benefits are coming to the body through this practice. Twenty seconds left. Coming into the home stretch, consider where the unnecessary tension might be. Inhale deeply. Exhaling, release the arms slowly down, all the way down. And from here, we'll rise up slowly. And you can shift yourself into easy pose. And we'll close. We'll bring our hands to our heart. And we'll close with a long Sat, short Nam, true self. Inhale. Sat Nam. Peace to all, life to all, love to all.